What is up, Doc Rannigan? What's going on, everybody?
You know what today is?
$10,000
What is
Thursday.
today?
That's it, baby.
$10,000 Thursday. My boy Jeff from Black Level. What are we doing? How's the world treating you, man?
Hey, man, humble and blessed. I'm staying humble and blessed. Business is great. Family's healthy, man. And you know what? The community that we're involved with is helping me break records and helping me hit my goals. And I'm loving every minute of it, brother.
That's huge. That's huge. You know, what probably gets you there is that you probably just stay focused on the right thing and not lose yourself all over the place like some business owners do.
Yeah, you know what? I know what I'm good at, and I don't try to be good at 600 things. I don't try to be everywhere all the time. I try to be the best in the world at what I know I'm good at, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today, right?
Holy shit, how to be the best at what you're great at, right? We're tired of being good at something. We want to be great.
That's it, man. So as we do this every week, we're going to spotlight our member of the week, and I'm going to throw all of the comments in here under the live section here, but I want to introduce a new member. His name is Anthony Villa. He owns Diamond Detailing. So he's our first RVBA member of this kind. So I want to give a huge round of support to him. If you guys need mobile vehicles or boats, cars, RVs, whatever detailed, we'll put the information in there. But he just joined this week. I've seen his work personally, and man, it's solid. So spread the message. Let's get this guy some work. He's in that year one hustle right now where we've all been. So the more that we support him, the more successful he's going to be and the people around him will be. What do you think?
Yo, I think that's huge. It's definitely the first 1 to 3 years is definitely one of the toughest things and hurdles for a small business owner to overcome.
Absolutely.
So congrats on becoming a member of the RVBA, Diamond Detailing. We look forward to being able to spread your company around. Hell, utilizing your service for myself. I'm sure Jess have used you. I kind of get a little leery on people cleaning my truck because as soon as you clean it, it's just going to get dirty again. I do that much driving, so
it's all right though. We got to support our movement, man.
I've got 3 damn vehicles, man. I'll go broke with all this detailing.
So hey, well, I'm gonna fill in this, but hey, a huge shout out to Anthony. We're gonna push as much business as we can your way. And equally, you support the members also within the RVBA. And I promise you, brother, you're going to be successful before you know it. So without further ado, Doc, why don't you kick us off while I put this information in for Anthony?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, man, we want to give a big thanks to all of our viewers out there, those that continuously show up, give us your feedback, like and share our videos. And just we love it. I'm looking right now. We have over 1,000 likes and followers with the RVBA now, which is freaking huge. And we couldn't have done that without the support of our patriots and veterans alike. But today we are going to talk about the Hedgehog Concept inside of your business. And this is where you kind of really begin to shine and begin to focus on and dial in on your industry. I know myself when I first started in business, I was like a fox, right? And as a fox, I would be all over the place, right? I would go over here and try to sell one product, over there, sell a different product, do this, do that. I was just like, I'm trying to wear too many hats at one time. And I realized that I wasn't able to gain as much traction as I wanted to. And it wasn't until I focused on a specific product with a specific target audience and a specific client that I began to see my company grow and scale up. And I'm going to read something real quick to guys to give you kind of a segue into what we're doing.
Yeah.
So foxes pursue many ends at the same time and see the world in all of its complexity. They are scattered or infused, moving on many levels, never integrating their thinking into one overall concept or unifying vision. Hedgehogs, on the other hand, simplify and a complex world into a single idea or principle that unifies and guides everything. So I know that was a whole lot, but what that means are there are business owners out there that try to do everything. For instance, if you look around now, you'll see companies doing plumbing, electrical, AC, roofing, gutters, siding, landscaping, right? and it's like, whoa, what do you really do in life? You know what I mean? And you get lost in that whole trying to appease everybody, and so you don't become the expert in your field that you're currently in. So what do you think? Did you start out that way with Black Level, where you were just trying to do so many different things that dealt in the audio video? Because that's huge. You could get lost in audio video.
No, man, and you know that's why this topic is important to me, because you know me, I'm all about processes and procedures. I'm real like detail oriented. Absolutely not. And having a 20-year experience in the industry, the integrator or AV industry, man, yeah, you're right. You know, spotlight, oh, rabbit, you know, you could get no. I sat down for 3 months and built my business plan. I did my market analysis. I did everything I need to, my business model, my website, the whole deal. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt, I wanted to be the best integrator in the Rockwall County area. And it was all going to start with my service.
Okay.
That's what I know I'm great at. That's what I know I'm the best in this industry at in our area. And that's what I focus on, because at the end of the day, people can hang TVs themselves. They can put together their DIY, you know, theater packages and whatnot. But you know what gets me recurring business and referrals is the fact that my service is outstanding without question. And if I ever make a mistake and I slip up, because I am a human, I do make those mistakes, I make it right without question. So no, I don't try to be everywhere all the time and do all this crazy stuff with my business, because I know that going down that road, now I'm going to be 60% at 15 things.
Yeah.
What good is that?
No, and that's when you begin to make mistakes. And so, I'll share a little story with you. So inside the roofing industry, and you meet with a homeowner and you get the roof done, it's inevitable that the homeowner will come and go, hey, can you come inside? I want to show you something. You know what I mean? And so you get inside and they're like, hey, can you fix this faucet? Can you fix this dishwashing disposal? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm the kind of guy that likes to appease people. I'm the kind of guy that likes to provide a solution and help somebody out, right? And that's backfired on me. That shit has bit me in the ass several times.
Yeah.
Where I thought that I could facilitate and oversee interior jobs of a home, right? And I lost money and I upset a client. You know what I mean? And so that can definitely become real tricky when you try to bite off more than you can chew. And that's what we're really talking about, the Hedgehog Concept.
Yeah.
Try not to bite off more than what you can chew, and just basically sell everything under the sun just so you can earn a little bit of money, right? So as we dig deep into this Hedgehog Concept, we want to hit a couple of key things, right? A couple of key things like, what are you deeply passionate about? Like, obviously you got into your industry because you are passionate about your industry. You said that I'm passionate about the service. It's unparalleled to anybody out there. That's what makes me the greatest AV specialist in Texas, right? Yeah. So how did you find that passion? Where did that stem from?
You know, a lot of it has to do with just pride and ownership, if you boil it right down to really what it is, because I just cannot fathom and even comprehend doing anything that you can't stand behind 110%. You know what I mean? It's just not in my DNA. It's not in my fabric. So when I thought about, okay, what am I going to be the best at? I know that I care about relationships. I care about trust, and I care that I retain my clients, right? That's the big key right there. Mm-hmm. So when I decided, okay, I know I'm great at the AV industry. I've done it all over the world, literally. Now, what's going to separate me from the competitors in the marketplace? And that's just a personal one-on-one. I'll give you an example. I had a client call me today. I was in the middle of 15 things. He needed something right now. So it wasn't in my best interest to drop everything I was doing. And I wasn't on a job site. It was kind of admin day or whatnot. But I did. I dropped everything I needed to do. And I went over there. And you know what? That one thing, he's going to remember that. Next time someone asks him, hey, who hung on your TVs, or who did your media room, or who did that? You know, those little kind of those services and that passion you bring to that is what keeps your clients coming back. And that's what I know I'm great at. I'll be as confident and almost even cocky with that.
And I agree. And that's what kind of fuels my passion in regards to both the operations that we're in. I am very passionate about building that relationship with my clients.
Yeah.
But we need to dive a little bit deeper about it, right? People ask me, Mike, why the hell did you get into drug testing?
Yeah.
And I'll be straight up with people out there. I've been in recovery for a really, really long time. I've seen the effects that drugs and alcohol can have on people, family, friends, the whole nine yards.
The
And when
whole
this
world.
opportunity fell in my lap, it was almost like a higher power was kind of saying, you know what, you may fit really well. Not only do I have the the life experiences that I can share with clients,
Yeah.
right? But I also know by being in the medical field, I know the harmful effects that can take place. So it was really near and dear to my heart. So when I was able to, when I went and pitched the idea of implementing a drug-free workplace to a client, I spoke with passion. I spoke with emotion. And those people saw that. Those businesses recognized that. And that's why they chose to utilize me, because there's a difference. I don't know if you've ever been to somebody that we'll go use a used car salesman. You ever been to a used cars lot and the guy just was like, yeah, it's cool. You can have this car or whatever. There was zero passion. And you're like, you know,
Yeah.
dude, I ain't buying shit from him.
Mm-hmm.
Versus going to somebody who just loves cars.
Yeah.
He bought a car just because he loved cars. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the key difference in understanding, are you passionate about what you do in your industry? Because I'm sure Diamond Detailing loves to see sparkly cars, right? That would be no other reason why somebody would spend so much time and energy on getting somebody else's car clean, because they love that end result.
Hey, let me break into this real quick, because if you read on his Facebook page, here's his description. Mobile detailer servicing Rockwall and surrounding areas, inspired to make every vehicle look its best with unparalleled quality, passion, and professionalism.
Exactly.
You have to be passionate as a business owner. Look, this may be more geared towards the business owner, this conversation today, I think, because that's these decisions, you know, what are you passionate about? Your economic engine, you know, the understanding. But I think everyone can take away something. But let's talk about finding the passion, because we understand that passion is something that drives motivation. Where do you find the passion? Is it your upbringing? Is it your circle? Like you just said, you and I have very similar backgrounds with our recovery, right? So we know we're passionate about being sober. We're passionate about certain things. But where did you find your passion to become a roofing professional?
I'll tell you what, where it came from was I had several friends get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Right? Like real talk. I had several family members and friends get taken advantage of by getting their first check stolen or somebody doing shoddy work. And I was like, man, like I'm very, very compassionate when it comes to people. You know, that was one of my strong suits, is that I hate being taken advantage of. So therefore I don't take advantage of others.
Correct.
So that's when I got into that industry, that I was like, you know what? Because it's not hard to be able to follow a process.
Yeah.
But if you're not passionate with that homework, because a lot of these people are confused about what all really it goes into. A lot of companies just see the dollar bill, right?
Yeah.
And hell, not too long ago, I met a Marine who was dying of cancer, and he needed to sell his home to pay some medical bills. And somebody turned me on to him. Mm-hmm. I went and sat down with this guy and listened to him, and I was like, you know what, bro? Fuck it. I'm going to put a roof on your house at no cost. Right?
I remember that. Yeah.
Because I was passionate about helping this dude. It had zero to do with his freaking roof. It had everything to do with me being willing to help somebody out who was in a time of need. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I love the service industry, because it affords me the opportunity to help people that can't help themselves.
Yeah, man. I think, you know, I think if you stick around the RVBA, and this is a message to the listeners right here, instead of just you and me talking back and forth, if you stick around the RVBA and you understand what we're really about, it's about giving. You know, whether that's giving referrals, whether that's giving back to Lone Star Casa, our time, our you know, what we do to support that. The big thing here is passion creates motivation. Mm-hmm. If you're not motivated, then you need to figure out what your passion is. So we know that it's important to be passionate, but let's talk about if you're lacking that passion, because some people are. But here's the thing, right? Some people have phenomenal ideas and they're really, really, really good at their skill set, but they're just not a passionate type of person. what are we doing in that? What are we doing in that section, right?
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. You brought up, like, people ask, like, why do you and Jeff and KC hop onto these damn things every Thursday and put the effort into it? And I basically the answer is the same. Is like, I just love to be able to share the knowledge that I've been given to me freely, and I love to see the end result. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take James Kennard, for example, Action Pest Solutions.
Yeah.
I met that guy, 3 years ago, and he was stuck on this this kind of teeter-tottering of going to another level with his company. He didn't know really what to do.
Yeah.
He was with the company. He didn't know if he wanted to start his own business. And we started really diving into what he wanted to do, what he wanted to accomplish, and why he loved killing freaking bugs, right? But he loved it, you know, and it was his gig. And I told him, I said, look, if you're passionate about it, you need to own that shit, and you need to get off your ass, and you need to do it. And I promise you, 2-3 years down the road, you will reap what you sow. And so far he has, and he's become more and more successful as the day. Now I see more and more Action Pest Control signs in people's yards, which is a fantastic thing. And so that's why I'm so passionate about being a part of the RVBA, hopping on these things every Thursday night. Yeah. Because when you see the end result, when you see those businesses going to another level and creating energy and creating success, it gives me a warm and fuzzy, right? Yeah. Wow, whatever the fuck we're doing is working.
Yeah. I had a conversation today, and it follows kind of along the pathway here. You know, are you a fox? Which, let me explain that. You know, the foxes, they try 100 different ways to catch the hedgehog, right? And these are the analogies so you guys can follow along. So the fox is trying 100 different ways to catch that hedgehog, right? The hedgehog, on the other hand, they're laser focused on one great thing, and that's why they stay alive. Doc, I think you had said that's why they live the longest, right?
Yeah.
So I had a conversation. I went through a consultation today, and it just ended up being really 5 minutes of, hey, what do you need for your AV system, and another 30 minutes of just talking to these folks out in Roy City and explaining the benefits of the RVBA and things like that. This is why we do what we do, so we can spread the message of success. We can focus on veteran and patriot business success, whether you're an owner or an employee or whatever. But that's why we're passionate about this. And that passion makes motivation come out. That's why we get on here, and it's $10,000 Thursday, and we're pumped to be here. You know, our families are eating dinner without us right now, but it's all good because consistency breeds credibility. So find your passion, tag that in with some motivation, and be as consistent as you possibly can.
Yeah. And I agree 1,000%. And so once you understand why you're passionate about what you're in, and you bring that passion to the table with your clients, I guarantee you're going to close more deals. If you show up to a client and you're dull, boring, and monotone, you're not going to win. But if you show up and you're like, holy shit, check out this new shingle, right? You're going to be like, I don't know why this guy's excited about shingles, but I'm excited about shingles too. And that's what you got to bring to the table when closing deals. You know what I mean? Is that passion. So we want to go to the next little topic, right? Which, how does that passion drive your economic engine?
Yeah.
Those are very fancy words to how does your passion transfer into making money, right? That's what we need to understand. If I'm so good and hungry and passionate about what we do, how does that going to make me money, right? Because that's why we got into business, Jeff.
Without question.
We want to make some freaking money. We want to get $10,000 every damn Thursday so that we can make money, right? And so to have a powerful economic engine, your organization must understand how to sustain cash flow, right?
Yeah.
If you've got a positive cash flow, then you can have a great economic engine within your business. But if you're frivolously spending money, if you got more money going out than you got coming in, then you're doing something wrong.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Okay? Like, it's literally, folks, it is that damn simple. If you are spending more than you make, then you're wrong, right? Like, that's where you got to become disciplined in your business, because I guarantee you, I get hundreds of calls a day. Hey, Doc, how you doing? Oh, I'm great, brother. Hey, would you like to sponsor this? Would you like to fucking, who knows what? I think the other day,
can you help out with it? Yeah.
Can you help out with that? Can you do this? Can you, I think Crowley Independent School District called me. I was like, ma'am, I don't even know where Crowley, Texas is. Why am I going to put my company name on a city that I have no idea to be, that I can't even service? You know what I mean? But some people are so eager to get their brand out there that they'll pay at any cost just to get that brand awareness.
That's not
some common economic denominators are going to include: what is your profit per customer? Understand that, right? For every customer, what do you intend to make? How much money do you plan on making? What is your profit per employee? If you've hired people, that person should be making you money. So if you're paying that person $15 an hour, he should be making you $30 an hour.
I'd say 45, but yeah.
Right? At a minimum, you should be making 50% profit margins on your employee.
Yeah.
How valuable that person is. Otherwise, you're just spending money to make somebody happy, right? And that kind of goes back to the last week's discussion. Is that person in the right seat on the right bus? You know what I'm saying? Is your location, if you have a business and you've set up a storefront, are you in the right part of the town that you want to be in? Are you in your niche environment, or are you in some off road somewhere and just, I got an office now, so I'm doing it. I'm doing big.
Man, if you end up in the wrong spot, that means you did your piss poor job at your market analysis right there. So
yeah, and I was that guy, right? Real talk. When I first met Jeff, and I showed him my office. He's like, Mike, what are you doing in this shithole? Oh man, I'm just trying.
That might be verbatim too.
But you know what I mean? I was like, I don't know. I'm just trying. I'm just trying to figure it out, because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have somebody that would help me. I didn't have anybody that I could bounce ideas off of. I just knew that I needed a storefront to facilitate a client. And I didn't care what it was, because I knew that I didn't have the means nor the funds to be able to afford that highfalutin location. Now I'm in a better position. Now I have a better location and things are a lot better. But if you're on that verge of, do I want a storefront, make sure the location that you decide, you're going to get the visibility that you want. You're going to get the foot traffic that you're looking for, and that your location better make you 50% profit margins.
Yeah.
Right.
And let me interject in there real quick. And if these are questions, because we don't have all the answers to these specific questions, we're just doing the best we can to share this knowledge with you. Do yourself a favor when you're watch this video, or whatever, write down some of these things and look to your internal network. Who can help you answer these questions? Because I guarantee you, I'm year 3 and I'm just now starting to really reap the benefits of being a business owner. And I'm still working 80 hours a week, but it's for me. So there are answers to the questions. Even if the people right here can't answer them, just reach to your network, please.
And that's a great tip, great insight. Definitely, if you don't have a mentor at this stage of the game, we highly suggest you get one. Yes. Oftentimes, if you pay for a mentor, you'll use your mentor type thing. So
yeah,
if you just say, yeah, I got a buddy I can bounce ideas off, well, cool. But if you have a company that you're legit paying for, then the odds of you taking them a little bit more seriously are in your favor. Also, don't forget that your brand is a profit, right? If you're out there and you got a swanky ass brand that you can't get behind, or you got a brand that only targets a niche audience, you're limiting yourself to grow.
Well, but in the same token, because I am a niche industry, I can tell you that if you're really looking into where you're trying to take your business and you have that hedgehog mentality, if you are in a niche, be the best you possibly can in that niche and find something that separates your company and your brand. But you are right. I mean, if you're a niche business, you have to have a different mentality.
You better, and your brand better be strong, and it better separate you from your competition. Like when I know when me and Jeff were talking many years ago, and he was talking about company names, and when he threw out Black Level, I was like, whoa, like that makes you stop and go, man, what does this dude do? And I don't remember exactly what I told him. I was like, do you just level out and black out rooms? Is that what you're doing? And he was like, no, man, it's so much deeper to him with that name, which ties into the passion of what he does. And so I chose Doc's Roofing. There's a reason behind that brand, because when I served in the military, people called me Doc. Basically, when you get hurt, you call a doc to get fixed. So if your roof is jacked up, you call a doc to get fixed. So the branding was clever for me, right? It was a play on words. Everybody could connect. Plus, it's easy to remember. So you're out there, you're branding. You want something that's catchy. You want something that's easily remembered, and it's different than everybody out there.
Yeah.
Right? You want to stand out. You want to be able to be that person and stand out amongst your competition, because that's what all this is about. That's how your business goes from being good to becoming great. It's how you separate yourself from that competition.
And use the tools that you have around you. You know, I mean, there's a ton of tools. If you're a young entrepreneur like myself, I'm 3 years, so I'm still a baby in this world. There's a ton of tools out there. But Mike said it best: find you a mentor now. Just ask. I had to go and just ask somebody, can you mentor me? And 2 or 3 people said, I don't know if I have time. And I found a mentor. And I'm telling you what, that is going to be one of the most critical pieces of the puzzle that you have as a young entrepreneur, is finding someone who's already done it, right? Someone who's already successful. They're going to tell you the goods, bads, and the indifference. Find you a mentor, please. That's a huge, huge critical step.
Yeah, don't reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? There's no need to it. There's so many businesses that have gone before us and have done something very similar, and they've already made those mistakes. So why do you want to make the same damn mistakes that your competition's made? Just go out and become better at it and take advantage of the relationships that you built, the networks that you're a part of, and the people that you're here. So
emulate the great. That's
the great. You got, absolutely. So let me ask you this: what can you do to be the best at AV? Like, what have you done over the last 3 years to make yourself the best guy to call?
Man, you know what? I just immersed myself in the industry, trade shows, I don't want to say networking, but trade shows. I beta test the crap out of my own house.
Beta testing.
Well, let's say there's new technology out. Do you think it's fair as a business that I try that out on you and your time and your family? Or would you respect a business that says, you know what, this is great. You want this new technology? Give me 30 days and let me put it in my house. Let me debug this system, make sure 110% is stable, and then put it in your house. I've never had a client tell me no.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm constantly trying to stay on top of what's new and what's different, and in my industry, dude, it's like this. It never stops. So I will tell a client, you know what, pump the brakes. That's way too new. You know what I mean? You may pay $5,000 for this 8K TV or whatever, but tell me where you're going to find 8K content. You're not. They're not even making it right now. So, what I do to stay on top of my game is just constantly stay in touch with the tools that I have in my industry. Like I'm telling these guys and gals that are watching, use the tools that you have around you to become great. I use the tools I have: field reps, customer support, tech support, whatever it is. And if I don't know something, I'm going to find it out. And I have no qualms telling the client, you know what, I don't know that answer, but let me find that for you.
Yeah, so we definitely have the options of doing continuing education.
Yep.
We have keeping up with market trends, technology trends, being more knowledgeable than your competition. And I'll speak to a little bit on that. So recently we were introduced to a product called Tilcore. Tilcore is a mixture between tile roof and metal roofs. So it's a combo.
What? That's cool.
Shit is crazy badass, man. It's hail resistant, wind resistant, lifetime warranty. It costs a little bit more because it's so new, but I promise you in the next couple of years, that price is going to come down.
Yeah.
And it looks gorgeous. It's easier to install. You can give it to your insurance company and they'll give you a discount on your insurance. As a matter of fact, there's shingles out there that are considered Category 4 shingles that are hail resistant, wind resistant up to 130 miles an hour. So me keeping up with inside my industry is what separates me from my competition. Crazy story. This shit happened to me today. We were called out by a homeowner to meet with an adjuster. He invited 2 other roofing companies.
The adjuster?
No, the homeowner.
Oh, the homeowner. Okay.
2 other roofing companies. I'm like, no big deal. I showed up. And so I'm sitting there talking, and the homeowner's asking questions. And this roofer, he was like, oh, I don't know, man. Let me call somebody. And I was like, nope. I said, this is what it is. This is the resistance. You know what I mean? This is the technology that they're using, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So now this clown, this person that was there to representing his company had limited knowledge of the questions that the homeowner was asking. And that's bad. When your homeowner has more knowledge about your product than you do, like, that's bad.
I run into that pretty often, man, where
because we got to understand, as business owner, Google is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
They will Google the shit out of whatever product they want to utilize. And when you show up, you better know more than what they know. Because they've already done their research. I promise you, when they're getting ready to drop $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, they have researched you. They have researched the product. They have researched their warranty information. They probably contacted a manufacturer and asked them how to install it. Hell, they probably are about to ready to start a damn roofing company themselves. You know,
a lot of people get into what I like to call paralysis by analysis, right? And you know, if you hear that again, paralysis by analysis, and we as business owners can do that as well, where we're trying to just analyze everything within our business way too much, and sometimes we just got to break it down. And Doc, you said it best: know more than your client knows, because they're going to respect the fact that you're an industry professional. We did a whole series on this about 2 months ago, or maybe a month ago, being the best you possibly can. So understanding when you're walking into these meetings, dude, I had the same thing. You and I know the guy that is a client of mine. We walk into a meeting and there's another AV guy sitting on the other side of the table. Of course, I smoked him because I'm the best in the world right around here. But sometimes you just got to play it cool. You know what I mean? You're going to be put in those situations where your character is going to speak volumes. So rather than running around swinging, you know, the big stick, sit back and listen, because you're going to find out, number one, what type of people are really out there that are your competition. And number two, you might even learn something, right, from your competitors that you can take and you can emulate to make yourself great. You can push past that staple of, am I as good as that company, right? I mean, it's a weird situation to be in when you're sitting across from a competitor, but I love it. I'm cool with it.
Oh, I'm a damn shark. I was like, bring it. And the homeowner was like, hey, I'm so sorry that we brought 2 more companies open. I said, I'm not offended. I said, if I had any fear at all about my competition, I wouldn't be in this industry.
Yeah.
Roofing is probably the most cutthroat industry out there, outside of realtors and insurance and car salesmen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're overly saturated, and everybody can do it. You can get on YouTube and bingo bango, you're a roofer. And people go, well, don't you do fences and gutters and X and Y and Z? I said, no, I don't. I said, I am an expert in roofing.
Yeah.
Commercial roofing, to metal roofing, to tile, to shingle, to shake. That's what I know. Now, here's what I also know. I know the right people to introduce that person to, right? Does 2 things. One, that allows me to be honest with the homeowner, to tell him, you know what, I don't know, right? And it's okay. It is okay to say that you don't know, but you will put them in touch with the expert that you trust.
Yeah, because you know what, you're doing 2 things there. You're building trust with that client, right? Because when you turn around and I say, call my boy Doc, he'll take care of you. Now I look good because I referred you, and now you look good, and now the circle of life continues. So while you're there doing the work, oh, by the way, we need epoxy floors. Okay, call Darren Chu.
Yep.
You know, oh, by the way, we need this. Okay, call this guy. So, you know, the referral source doesn't have to be something you just push like that. You want to refer yourself first, build your trust first with that client. And then when you start interjecting, you know, your other referrals to them, they'll trust you a lot more. Let me ask you this. Our topic right now that we're kind of circling around is the economic engine, right? What brings revenue to your company? What brings revenue to your company right now? Pick one of them, the drug test or the roofing, whatever you want to talk.
So right now, the biggest thing that's driving the drug testing industry for me is actually COVID testing. Honestly, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You hate to be the guy that's capitalizing on this pandemic, but honestly, if it isn't me, then it's the guy next door. It's my competition. So with that, I chose to become as knowledgeable as I can about the COVID virus.
Yeah.
Different types of testing that are available, what's working, what's not working, who is reporting what to the CDC or Health and Human Services, training up my employees so that they can have the same knowledge that I have. Because I'm telling you what, Children's Hospital contacted me, Mesquite Independent School District contacted me. When you have heavy hitters like that contacting you, you better know what the hell you're doing and not try to fly by night. When people are calling me to say, man, I need to go to the Dominican Republic, can I get an antibody screening or do I have to get this specific type of test? And you tell them, oh, yeah, you can do whatever test you want. Here's a piece of paper. And next thing you know, they're quarantined for 14 days. They're pissed off because that person, all your competition was doing was trying to earn a buck. I drove past Shenanigans today, and there's somebody sitting outside in their parking lot giving away free COVID testing. Like, I don't know about you, but I ain't trusting anything that's free when it comes to COVID, right?
Or in general.
Because shit ain't free. There's nothing free in this world. And so what is really going on? What's happening? So I've really dove deep in there. I've bought different types of equipment to help me better assess people that have it.
Yep. And
honest to God, man, I know more about this dumbass virus than I ever wanted to, but I'm also very grateful and thankful.
Yeah.
I do have a family, and I do have people in my family that have an autoimmune deficiency problem. So that helps me understand signs and symptoms and what I need to do if something does happen.
Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say that you capitalized on a pandemic. I'm looking this more as you're a hedgehog. That's just the bottom line to it. You're the big idea guy. I mean, that's why you're in our leadership team on the RVBA. You're the big idea guy, and we get it. You know what I mean? You saw an opportunity is what you saw. You didn't take advantage of anything.
No.
Taking advantage of a pandemic is a guy sitting outside with a brown paper bag giving away freaking free COVID, right? You're a professional in your industry. So you took that advantage of the opportunity to be a professional in the field. You learned what you were dealing with. You bought the right equipment. You invested in your business, and you talked about the tough decisions within yourself because you knew that stigma would be out there. I think people can take away from this. The story you just told is don't feel like you're taking advantage of anything. We're all in this to go from good to great. If you see something, jump on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't wait. I mean, it took a lot of people, a lot of different businesses to get to a lot of success. You know, Casey said it last week. You know, this overnight success was 10 years in the making. Dude, there's no such thing as overnight success. Doc, you've been a business owner now you hit your decade mark. It takes a lot of work, don't it?
10 years takes a lot of work, a lot of heartache, a lot of mistakes, a lot of understanding which avenue that I really wanted to track down. So in that industry of drug testing, I was also afforded to be able to do background checks, paternity testing. There were so many different facets, but I said, you know what people really want? They want a company that they can call at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I focused on. I focused and drove in, and I contacted every single business that ran 24/7. And I called them and I asked them the tough questions. How bad does it suck when you have an accident at work and you can't get anybody on the hook?
Uh-huh.
They're like, whoa, that's one of my biggest issues. And I was like, great. What if I give you a solution to that? And at that time, they were hook, line, and sinker because I solved a problem that they couldn't solve. Yeah. And from there, I just started pitching my other products and services, built a relationship, solved their problem, and now I take care of the whole client now. And that's the beauty behind focusing on what's good at. But that's the beauty behind being a hedgehog because you can drill down to what you're great at and then maximize it over a period of time.
Yeah, and turn it into revenue because really that's what this is about, right?
Fucking making money.
Cut through the chase, right? We all understand you have to be great, not just good. You got to be great at what you do to really gain trust because the bottom line to it is no matter what industry you're in, there are multiple businesses in that industry, even in a 25-mile radius of where you live, wherever that may be. So you have to understand that you got to cut to the chase and jump on the opportunity, become great at it, and build the trust. We've said this 100 different times throughout 25 weeks of these lives. If you're focused on money first, you may make it for a few years. but you're not going to sustain. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part of the deal. So really what we're trying to drive home with this, and we started this Good to Great. We're not doing the book report for it, but this book, you should get it and take a look at it, Audible, the book or whatever. But the hedgehog concept is about understanding. It's more than just the analogies of a fox and a hedgehog. It's about understanding what your organization can be best at, and even more importantly, what you can't be the best at. If you're throwing time, money, and resources at something that you're not the best at, while you have something over here you're holding that you are, shift gears, adjust and redirect fire, go down the other road. You know what I'm saying? Your business plan should be looked at once a year, in my opinion. What do you say?
Absolutely. And the way I've kind of dove in or really kind of focused on a certain thing is I used what's called a SWOT analysis.
Strengths, weaknesses, yep.
So if you're a business owner and you don't know what that acronym is, please fucking ask Siri right now what a SWOT analysis is, okay? So a SWOT analysis is an acronym that stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And that's where you're going to be able to dive in to your niche and what you really want to focus on, right? So we need to be able to do that. And so I did a SWOT analysis on COVID testing. I did a SWOT analysis on looking at this new product, Tilcor product, right? Like I've done it. I looked at going into solar power installation. I did it. And I was like, nope, don't want to do that. There was too many threats. There was too many weaknesses, not enough opportunity. And if you do that, if you understand that and you implement the tools that have been given, that will help you drive your economic engine. And you can do that with your marriage. You can do that with your as a father, as a whomever. A SWOT analysis can work on anything you do in life, like real talk.
Yeah.
And especially if you're serious about it and you don't sugarcoat yourself. The number one thing I learned in business is don't lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start lying to yourself saying, oh man, I'm making $1 million. And then you go and look at your bank account and you got $10. Like what's the point of doing that?
Yeah. Gross and net are two totally different things.
Yeah. And so that has helped me tremendously within the last 10 years of being a business owner is I consistently do a SWOT analysis about every 6 months on what's working, what's not working. And it helps me just kind of clear the air, go back, re-engage, look at what I'm doing. And then I include, which is huge, folks, I include the employees that are working with me, right? Because if the people that are working with me aren't passionate about the way I'm headed, then I'm going to lose all the traction that I've gained.
Yeah, go back and listen to last week's whole talk about right people, right place on the bus, man. That's for damn sure.
And if you've written a mission and vision statement, don't divert from that. Right? If your mission is to be the best home automation company in fucking the world, then you better focus on being the best home automation company in the world, right? And you better continuously learn and grow. And like you said, you beta test stuff. That's a SWOT analysis.
That's exactly what it is.
Doing beta testing, right?
Yep.
You get a product, you look at the strengths, you check out its weakness, the opportunity that it's going to provide, and what are the threats? Do I need to have it plugged into an Ethernet cable all the time? Will it have enough bandwidth? Will my cloud? Is it user friendly?
Right? And you're right. So, I like how you put that in perspective because my brain sees that differently. My brain sees me testing things in house as the right thing to do. But you're absolutely right. It's a SWOT analysis. You know what? And I spend money and I invest in my business to do a SWOT analysis every single time something new comes out. It's just what I do because the last thing I'm going to do is put anything in anyone's home that I am not comfortable with because now I look like a jackass if it doesn't work. Right?
That's true. There is nothing worse than pitching a product that you barely know anything about.
Yeah.
And I promise you that shit's happened to me, right? That's happened where and I lost money. Right. I pitched them on a really upgraded shingle, but I didn't really fully understand the cost. Right. I was just excited about the deal. And this happens a lot when you're young in business.
It
It
does.
really does. It happens a lot when you're immature in business, because at the time, money is on the brain, right? Cash flow is on the brain, because if your wife is like, Mike, you ain't making no money. Mike, where's all your damn money? You said you're a millionaire and all you got's $10. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you're like, no, babe, I closed this deal. I upgraded them on shingles and everything. And then you're paying me big time. And you go back and you look at it. You're like, oh, shit, I made $500. Like, that's not what it's about. So know what you're doing. And not all money is good money. Right? I know you guys have heard that before in life. Not all money is good money.
Every client is your client.
Do what?
And not every client is your client.
That's right. Not every client is your client.
You have to learn to say no, because I tell you, the first time you let a client take advantage of you and you're like, oh, I need to get this job, I'm going to hook this guy up and take all my product margin out of it. What do you think happens? I'll tell you what happens. They tell their friends, oh, he hooked me up and gave me a discount on everything. Right? So now you're setting yourself up and your brand up to be viewed as something that you're not. So be cautious with that. It's okay to say no.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? And oftentimes I try not to do work with family because they expect such a large hookup, right? And so I just refer them out. And I'm like, and use this guy over here, right? Because you don't want that tension. So at the end of the day, we need to understand what our purpose is, what drives our passion, how do we create that economic engine that we strive to become, right? Because it's a trifecta, right? It's a trifecta that we're trying to be in. All three of those circles: what you're deeply passionate about, what you can be the best at in the world, and what drives your economic engine. All three of those circles need to intertwine and overlap, and you stay focused right in the middle.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
You know, so at the end of the day, if you're trying to run a company and you're only using one of the three Hedgehog concepts, then you're not going to be as successful that you can be. You want to be able to understand all facets of the company, all facets of what you're trying to do. Don't get into a business because that's like me getting into car sales and I hate cars.
No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It's not going to do it. Or me going, hey, Jeff, I'm going to come work for you, but I can't stand hanging televisions, or I can't stand running wire. I don't want to get in an attic. You know what I mean? So if there's no passion in it, then you're just spinning your wheels. And if you don't understand how you're going to create money, right, from your clients, if you don't understand your profit margins and what your profit margins should be, then you're probably your cash flow is probably going to suffer as well. So,
I'm going to ask you a question real quick. Let's talk profit margins just for real quick, because that's where cash flow comes from. And any successful business has cash flow that turns that cash flow into more revenue somehow, right? So that's a whole nother topic or whatever. How often per job do you take a look at your profit margin on the project?
Every single job.
Every one of them.
Every single job.
Me too.
And my goal on every single job is to have a minimum of a 32% profit margin to about a 50% profit margin. Mm-hmm. And people may say, wow, Mike, that's a large profit margin. Not when you start looking at the details.
Yes.
Right? When you start looking at the cost of having an employee, of having an office, of maintaining insurance, of maintaining your vehicle. You have to have that kind of profit margin because you got your labor and material, you got your fixed cost that aren't going to change. But what will change is inflation, right? And if your profit margins are running bare bone and you're only running at a 10% profit margin, you're always going to be chasing your tail going, man, why am I not making the money that I want? I want to make six figures. I want to make $500,000. I want to make $500,000 this year. Yeah. But if your profit margins are too low, it's because you've devalued yourself as a business owner.
Well, and then the other thing too about profit margins is, we're being a little bit transparent here, and I'm fine with it because I'm transparent as a business owner across the board. So I'm cool with it too. But let's say we're at a 40% margin here. You're really not at 40%. You cut that in half immediately for your fixed cost.
Yep.
Your business, your box store, your this, that, the other. So if you're not doing a business analysis and a profit analysis on your projects, I would highly advise you to. And if you need help with that, there's tools out there, there's people out there, whatever. But don't just think because you're making a couple $1,000 on a job that couple $1,000 is paying for anything other than the cost of doing business, because you got to make a lot more to make your business make cash flow. That's without a doubt.
And again, you what's coming in and how much is going out. And that's really when you get into your profit margins.
Yes.
So what I do is probably every quarter I'll go into my QuickBooks and I'll look at my profit and loss statements. Right.
Yeah.
And I'll look through that and I'll highlight frivolous spending. And when I mean frivolous, like, it fucking happens, right? It just happens, right? And when I mean frivolous spending, I mean, I break it all the way down to the bare bones. Like, how often am I going to Whataburger?
Yeah.
Right? Because you think $5 isn't a lot of money, but if $5 times 7, right, is $35 a week times 4, you see where I'm headed? That's $125 a month times 12. That's $1,200 a year that you're frivolously spending, right? Now add, oh man, I need a Red Bull for $5, or you're frivolously buying into people's bullshit, right? Hey man, use me for, you know what I mean? Sponsor this. Not to say sponsoring is bad. Okay. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah.
But make sure that whatever you're getting ready to sponsor, make sure that you know the end result. Understand you better be getting a profit out of that.
There's got to be a return on investment.
There has to be an ROI. And if you don't know what your ROI is for sponsoring that, like I would never sponsor, I don't know. I can't think of something I wouldn't sponsor right offhand, but
what he's trying to say is don't just sponsor to sponsor. Make sure you're looking at it from a business standpoint. And I know where you're going with this. Doc sponsors the gun shoot every single year with the chamber. That's because he's a gun guy. He loves being around the people that are gun people. His niche is inside of that circle of people who go to those things. If you're a golf guy, sponsor golf things. If you're a lady with a business, sponsor bags and bubbles what the ladies put on. Just make sure you're using critical thinking skills before you just start handing over money to every who saying, I need money. Because right now, with the way things are going, everybody's got their hands out.
Everybody. And I don't mind, like I'm doing, I sponsor my daughter's cheer. I love my daughter being in cheer, so I'm all about it because I know what the end result is. That's my daughter's cheer team becoming better. They get uniforms and what have you. Yeah. But I'm not going to sponsor somebody's cheer team in San Diego, California. Just because they talk, you know what I mean? So understand, if anything that you're doing out there always boils down to your profit and loss statement. You know what I mean? Understand your spending habits and become disciplined in your spending habits, right? Yeah. But don't also forget that you need to spend money so that you can show the IRS that you aren't making any money, okay?
Spend it to make it. That's just the bottom line to it, man.
Yeah. And
so spend it on your business. You got to spend it on yourself. You have to reinvest into your business, man. And, understanding what you're going to be the best at in the world and how you're going to get there, what drives your economy in your business. And that's economic engine and resources engine as well. The passion that turns into motivation, man. I think we've hit on a lot of really good topics here. This chapter within this book, if you haven't read this book, may blow you away. I would say sit down and read it, get the Audible book for it if you're an audio guy. But man, I think we're 27 weeks, 26 weeks, something like that. We're gonna keep doing this for you guys. We're shorthanded tonight. Casey's at the Legion, but I thought Doc and I will handle this pretty well tonight. We just make sure that you're getting value. We're doing our member spotlights. The RVBA is working very hard, and I'm gonna go on record and say this right now. I'm putting heat on the chamber to make sure that we can start meeting again, because we have to bring normal back to this area. And Doc and I, agree on that, and we're going to spearhead this. We're obviously respecting the chamber without a shadow of a doubt and what they have to say, because they've done great things for the community. But just know there's going to be a gathering very soon. How that takes place, we're working on the details now. But the Rockwall Veterans Business Alliance, man, we thrive on veteran and patriot members, and we love our members. That's why we do this every week. So, Doc, go ahead and send us home, man.
Yeah, man. I can't tell you how excited I am for that reunion, that meet and greet, man. There's a lot of us that I see on a daily basis, shake hands with them, and you hear the buzz, right? You're like, man, when are we going to do this again? When are we going to get together? They love the hype. They love us coming out. I mean, we need that energy as business owners. Without energy, without passion, without that freaking synergy that we create amongst each other, we begin to lose focus on what's important.
Absolutely.
We stay at home and we become complacent. And my friends, complacency will kill you quick. That is just what it will happen.
Complacency kills.
Complacency will kill you. It will kill your business. It will kill your marriage. It will kill your everything. Don't get me started, because I was complacent at one point in time in my life. And that's a whole nother series that we may top on. Yeah. And how do you sustain a happy wife and be a happy business owner? That's probably a fucking 2-year topic that I'm not going to get into.
Here's what I would ask for the folks that are watching this video that are local Rockwallians and they hang in our area and we network. Share this video. If you like the content that we're providing, get it to your friends. Man, we've had people hit us up from Oklahoma, El Paso. Our reach is getting out there, and we're going to continue to press forward on this. If you, as an RVBA member, are ready to get back in the fight and ready to get back to networking, let us know. Send us emails, send us messages. We need all the support we can get so we can go back to the chamber and say, hey, we're ready to be normal, and you know what? We're going to be the tip of the spear. So, appreciate it.
Really excited. Have a great weekend, man. It's $10,000 Thursday. Hey, the offer stands every single damn time. If you got a question, if you got a problem, or you just want to bend one of our ears, do not hesitate to give us a call, EM, DM, PM, write me. I don't give a shit what you call it. Hit one of us up, man. We would love to talk to you guys, let you know what we can do for you, and vice versa. I guarantee you there's guys out there that know more shit than we do. And if you want to be on, or if you want to be on this show and you want to be a part of it, let us know.
Yeah, love it.
That's what we want to do. We want to give back so much so that we can help you guys out in the future. Jeff, you're awesome, brother. Enjoy your weekend. Guys, thanks out there for being a patriot. We love y'all's support. See y'all next Thursday.
All right, boys and girls, y'all have a good one. Go kill it this Friday.
Ever.
See you.